Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to show you some do's and don'ts on bodywork. I bought a '07 Impala. It's just a beater for work. And I mean, it needed some work. The interior was absolutely disgustingly filthy. The guy I bought it from bought it wrecked, and it's our titled. But I didn't pay hardly anything for the car. I mean, absolutely pretty much nothing. He bought it. The back quarter was smashed in, and he pounded it out. Put a rear glass in it. I guess the front passenger side was wrecked, and he fixed it, and did the body work, and he painted it. Now, I know the guy can do good work. I've seen his work. But on these cars, I think he just don't really give a crap. He just wants to get them done and get them out and try and sell them. But I'm going to be redoing the body work on it because it's only a beater and it's a work beater. But I just can't stand driving it like that. There's just no way. It looks awful. And I'm one of these guys, whether it's a beater or not, I can't stand it. It's got to at least look decent. I'll start off by showing you. Now, this is the interior. Now, I had to scrub this interior with a brush that goes in a drill and some all-purpose cleaner. Because, I mean, it was around the headlight knob was black. All the controls around all the controls were black. And the rugs were black, which as you can still see, they're not that great, but it come out a lot better than it did. I scrubbed the seats twice and the rug 3 or 4 times. The back seat come out really nice. There's a couple little spots on it, but not many. What you're seeing is dark as a shadow. That's not dirt. In the center there, towards the bottom, there's a little bit of dirt. And back here, see that threshold piece to the right, how dark and dirty it is? That's how the whole door panels were, the dash. I mean, it was just disgusting. That's what this looked like right here. That's how the whole car looked inside. And I got it all scrubbed up. I still got to touch up a few spots now. I got to re-clean it because I've been working on it. But I did this and did some odds and ends on it. I had to put a wheel bearing in it. It still needs another wheel bearing. There was a short in it. I figured that out. Whoever wired the radio up, which that ain't the radio that was in it. I got rid of it. That's my good radio. Wired it up to the trunk release button. The guy that I got it off of didn't do that. It was already done when he got it. And you would turn the radio up to like 20. It would distort, cut out. And then the door locks wouldn't work. The trunk release wouldn't work. And they wired it to the trunk release, which I fixed. I got that fixed, and this guy just did what he had to do to get it on the road, get it legal, and that's pretty much all he did, which I knew it was going to need some work, but like I said, for what I paid for it, ain't a big deal. The horn didn't work. I had to fix that. It was the clock spring in the steering wheel. It was broke. So I put another clock spring in it, got that working. And just a bunch of odds and ends, little things I had to do to it. It needs 2 tires yet, another wheel bearing, and a muffler. And that's it. But we're going to start off with the body work here. This is what I'm doing. This was all smashed in right here. This was all smashed in. It looked like either somebody took a crowbar and tried prying the door open and smashed this in, or they hit something. But I don't see no other marks anywhere else. So I'm assuming somebody tried breaking into the car with a crowbar. Or they locked themselves out and couldn't get in and tried opening the back door that way. And then here there was a little dent. And as you move up, you can see the door scraped a little bit, which I'll get that later. And then you come up here, a little scrape there, a little scrape there, which ain't no big deal. Then up here, this was smashed in. And this was smashed in. And then you come to the hood. If you look across it, you can see the telltale marks right here where it wasn't feather edged. You could see the old paint underneath. And I can't deal with it like that. I can't. It's all got to come off. Then you can see here where it was puttied, and you can see all the pinholes in it. So that's all got to be sanded down. This whole hood's got to be sanded down. You can see here, you can see the DA marks right here. and the paint's peeling here. And the paint does have a lot of, it's real dry, it's gritty, like it's not orange peel, it's kind of like orange peel, but I mean the guy just painted it to get it one color to get rid of it. And then here, and you can see here it's marks here, and it's real rough right here, and there's a dent, and this was real, you can see it was sanded and it waved real bad. And you can see the hood here. I mean, it's, honestly, I should just get another hood, is what I should do, but I don't know, I'm still debating it yet. Depends. I'm going to put a coat of putty on this and see what it's like, because this is going to take, this hood is probably going to take 2-3 hours of wet sanding or dry sanding with the DA to get it down level, and then I'm going to have to shoot a coat of primer on it, like a primer, but it's a liquid putty, to fill in all them little holes and gaps, and then block sand that down. Then once that's block sanded down, then seal it, and then paint it. I mean, it's just a lot of work. I mean, here, so I might end up getting another hood. You can see here, I'm taking it down. And this fender has a little spot right here, which I might not even bother with that. But back here's the real problem. This quarter panel, man, you can see the sand scratches all through here. It's bad. And then this is real wavy from here to the end. You could probably see it. I mean, it's bad wavy, bad. I mean, you can see it going by at 55 mile an hour. So what I'm going to do is I sanded this down and this down because there was 2 low spots here. And I could pull it out with my stud gun, because that's what I used on this side to pull them dents out. I have a stud gun that takes, I'll show you, you have like 3 or 4 different sizes of these. They're like little pins. And this is what they are. Yep, my fingers are in the way again. And what you do is you just put them in the nozzle of this thing, at the end of that nozzle. Then you hold it up flat against the metal and press this button on the back, and it heats super hot in a second. And it actually welds them studs to the panel. Then once it welds the studs, you take it off, and then you use the slide hammer, slide it over the studs, and then just use this, because this will grip the stud. Then you grip the stud, and then you just take the handle, and you pull it back. And you slide hammer it out. And that's what I did to this whole side here, all them big dents. I got them all out with that. I mean, there's marks here on the bumper. The bumper needs redone. I mean, it's just a lot of work. Bumper's broke here, which there's nothing I'm doing about that. I'm not buying another bumper cover. I mean, it ain't got a lot of miles on it. It's got 149,000, which ain't a whole lot. Motor and tranny's solid in it. Probably going to need a front end alignment. And there's a few things I got to do, like I said. But what I'm going to do here, getting back to this, is I'm going to sand this down so that it's level with this. Sand this down so that it's level with this. Then I'm going to sand it all down to the putty that's there. And then I'm going to go over it from here to the end. And just coat it. One thin coat of putty. Sand that down. Coat it again. Sand it down. Till I get most of them waves out of there. It just, to me, I can't handle that. I just can't. And you can see here where the back window broke, they put tape, I'm assuming duct tape, and a piece of plastic over it. And, of course, marred the paint. So that's all got to be sanded down. And I'm going to, at the minimum, I'm going to have to paint both back quarters. The back bumper cover, the front bumper cover, 2 front doors, 2 front fenders, and the hood, and the front bumper cover. So I might as well just buy 2 quarts and do the whole freaking car. Just repaint the whole car. That's what I ought to do. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But it's a good running car. like I said, I had to do some work to it, but no big deal for what I paid for it. But yeah, I mean, there's right way and a wrong way of doing stuff. Like I see some of these guys doing body work and they'll have a big, huge dent and just fill them with putty. If you want to do it right, you cannot do that. Because sooner or later, you're going to hit a bump and that stuff's going to crack, and it's going to either crack and then you're going to have something that looks horrible, or it's going to fall out. And then you're going to have that dent and it's going to be down to bare metal, and then you're going to have problems. You want to do it right, you got to pull the dents out. Pull the dents out, one thin coat of putty, sand that down, probably another coat, and then a finish coat, and it'll be done right. I mean, with minimum amount of body putty. I mean, just a minimum. I see some of these cars that I've worked on in the past. I just did a Dodge truck for a guy. It was a yellow one, and I did the bedsides, and there must have been, I know, a half inch of putty on the bedsides. You don't need to do that. I mean, you put a body panel on the side, a wheel well opening, grind it down, tack weld it, pop rivet it, whatever you want to do. And then just a thin coat, just enough to cover it. If you do it right, you don't need a lot. But anyways, I'm not going to record all this body work because it's going to take me forever. And I don't have the time. Between working on other cars and out of the shop here and working my regular job, I just don't have time. So, all right, guys, I just wanted to give you an overview. And then once it's all done and I get it primered and then sealed, I'll video it again. And then after it's painted, I'll video it again. But it's probably going to be a couple months till it's painted. I just don't have the time. I got so much stuff going on right now. I got a tree in the yard I got to cut down. I got our camp to finish getting set up. I got another car across the street I got to do quarter panels on. It's sitting over there. It's a Hyundai Santa Fe. Right over the back wheel well here, right back here. And over the wheel well here, it's starting to rust out. I put patches and puttied it, but got to get that done. Which I'm waiting on the guy to give me the money. Because I don't know. But anyways, we won't get into that subject. And I got a couple other things to do. But other than that, in my spare time, as I get time, I'm going to work on this. Little by little. And I can see a dent right here. And a dent right here. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see it at an angle. No, not really. Right there, you can see it. There's a dent right here. And then there's a dent right here. Which I might let them go. I might be able to take that panel off and just reach in there and pop them right out. Hopefully I can do that, and then I don't have to grind the paint off to use the stud gun, because that's the only thing that sucks about a stud gun. Is you got to have it down to bare metal for them studs to weld. And then you're in the painting it. I got to do the bottom of the door, but I don't know. I'll see when I get to it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know how you guys do yours. This is the way I do them. I was taught old school. I don't use belt sanders. I was taught to do body work about 30 years ago. So I do everything old school. The only new things that I do have is I do have the stud gun, which is a newer thing. But it just makes it so much easier. But other than that, pretty much all my stuff that I do is old school. The only thing I don't do that the old guys still do is, unless it's somebody that wants a car done that's absolutely flawless, I don't wet sand them. I dry sand them with like 400, 500, which is equivalent to about 600, 700 wet sand. Because dry sanding's a lot finer than wet sanding. And I just dry sand them and spray them. I mean, that's how I do them. Unless somebody wants it where they want it looking really nice, like that Dodge I did, that Dodge truck. I wet sanded the bedsides on that because he wanted it perfect. He was happy with it. So, it's just the way I do things. Everybody does things different. Some people do things a lot better than I do, but it's my car, so I'll do it how I want it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.